like, where's this man at? I don't even see him.
Well, I'm here. And you know what time it is? It's tier list time. Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. It's your boy Whiskey here. I know I talk really fast. I know I do. But anyway guys, what is up? And in today's video, we will be going over a passive tier list. I haven't seen one of these. I haven't even searched it up to see if there was one. So, don't blame me. But anyway, this is basically, yeah, like I said, just a passive tier list. But it's like, it's different portions. Like, actually I messed this up. Maybe I should leave it like this though, because it's probably best for the whole thing anyway. Because there are characters that support the team, and then there are characters that support themselves. So actually, let me fix this real quick. Alright, so there we go. We have S, 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 A, B, C. So you're probably like, okay, how's this gonna work? Well, basically, we're gonna go over everything, all the whole tier list, every single person, where they rank and why they rank where they rank, right? So first things first, let's look at the first character, right? Alright, so here we go. We have Amber first. So let's go over her passive, right? Her passive 1, 2, and 3. They all have 3 passives. Well, the Traveler only has 2 passives, but everybody else 3 passives, right? Her first passive is every arrow finds its target, increases the crit rate of fiery rain by 10%, and widens its AoE by 30%, right? So this is basically, literally the old, I mean, increasing the crit by 10% and widening the AoE, that's more of a self, I mean, yeah, that supports the team for when you want to do elemental damage, like, and whatnot, but other than that, it's not really that good, because it's not gonna do too much, right? So, and then we have her passive talent 2, which is precise shot. Aim shots hit weak points, increase attack by 15% for 10 seconds. So headshots and whatnot on this character, Amber, as you can see, they are actually broken. So she is, where that is really good, but that's more of a self passive that supports her really mainly, but definitely very strong if you built her right? As you can see, if y'all seen those videos with people that are one-shotting, pyro regifying and stuff, it's insane. So that for sure, I understand. This one's really good passive. But and then her passive talent 3 decreases gliding stamina consumption of your characters. This supports everybody in the whole team. Decreasing the glider's stamina consumption is really cool. So that's clean, right? So where would she go in this tier list? I give her a B, because where she does support the team, it's really with the gliding, and then her ult. Yes, she can do her ult, and then you could go into another character, whether that's hydro to vaporize, or whether that's ice to melt, or whether that's, you know, electro to overload. It's up to you, but other than that, the only thing she really supports is herself with those aimed shots, and she can really nuke. So she's really more of a, she doesn't support like that, but she does support herself decently. So that's a B. Okay, so let's go over the next character, which is, alright, next we have Barbara, right? So Barbara's passive talent, number 1, is the stamina consumption of characters within the Let the Show Begin melodies loop is reduced by 12%. And if you don't know what the Let the Show Begin is, that's basically when she puts the ring around herself and she can heal, literally heal, right? So that's really good, because of the fact not only is your stamina consumption being reduced by 12%, you're also getting healed. So that's really good team support, as well as her second passive, which is when you're active, character gains an elemental orb size particle. The duration of Let the Show Begin melody loop is extended by 1 second. The maximum extension is 5 seconds. She's a hard character that supports mainly the team. She supports herself as well, but she's a team support. She's 100% team support. So, and then her passive talent 3 is when a perfect cooking is achieved on the dish with restorative effects, there is a 12% chance to obtain double the product, which is also beneficial. So where would she go on this tier list? Well, she would go to A, 100%. Because, I mean, that's really good and really decent, way decent for a 4-star character in this game for sure. Okay, so next character we have beidou. So beidou's kind of broke though, like I'm not gonna lie. I went over her passives and it was kind of woof. wonkers, right? So passive talent 1 is Retribution, counter-attacking with Tidecaller, which is her elemental skill. At the precise moment when the character is hit, grants the maximum damage bonus. So if you press it at the exact moment you get hit, maximum damage, right? So that's really, really good. You get the maximum damage bonus and you do electro damage, right? And then on passive talent 2, gain the following effects for 10 seconds after unleashing the Tidecaller, which is their elemental skill again, with its maximum damage. Why did it just do that? Okay. Right here. So with this maximum damage dealt by normal and charged attacks is increased by 15%. Attack speed of normal and charged attacks is increased by 15%. So she's basically after if you hit a perfect Tidecaller, which is her I'm gonna just say full counter. If you hit a perfect full counter on beidou, not only will you do maximum damage, you will gain 10 seconds of 15% increased attack and 15% normal attack and charged attack speed, right? And this greatly reduced delay before unleashing charged attacks. So charged attacks are faster as well. This character may not support the team, as in like with healing wise and whatnot, but her passive for herself is actually pretty broken because she is a DPS. She has greatsword. So that honestly, and then also if you didn't know, I'm gonna stop reading the passive talent 3s because they're really just, you know, supports for like the map and whatnot, right? But this is decreased swimming stamina consumption of your characters in a party by 20%, right? So where would she go? 100%. I feel like it's an S because she buffs herself after she does maximum damage from perfectly full countering, and that right there that's kind of broken to me. Attack speed is increased, attack is increased, and then you just hit like dumb damage with the maximum damage bonus on your Tidecaller. So it's just 100% she's in S rank. Okay, now we got Bennet, my boy Bennet. All right, I'm sorry I bobbed my head like that. Anyway, let's go to his passive. Okay, his first passive is decreases passion overload cooldown by 20%. If you don't know what passion overload is, it's basically where he can do, if you tap it, he performs a quick flaming swing with his sword, just one swing. If you short hold, he performs 2 stages of swings, right? That does pyro damage, of course, and launches the enemy. And if you long hold, he does 3 swings, but he knocks himself and the opponent back, but he does not take damage, right? So right here, this decreases the passion overload cooldown by 20%, which is he supports himself, and that's good and all, but yeah. When inside the Fantastic Voyage's circle, which is his elemental burst, passion overload's cooldown is decreased by 50%, and Bennet cannot be launched by this skill explosion. So that's pretty good. It's actually not bad because when he does use passion overload, right, and then he can use, say for example, use passion overload, and then it's on cooldown. And then you use your elemental burst, which is your Fantastic Voyage. As soon as you're in that circle, also, if the health of the character in the circle is equal or falls below 70%, their health will continuously regenerate. And if the health is above 70%, they will gain attack bonus equal to the set percent of Bennet's base attack, which is also really good. He's supporting any character that is in that circle, in his little thumbs up, right? So that's like really, really good. And then once you do that, once you do his elemental burst, Passion's overload will cooldown will decrease by 50%, and Bennet cannot be launched by his own attack. So he'll be launching enemies, but he will not be launched as long as he's in his Fantastic Voyage. So where does that put him on the list? That put him at a whopping A, because that's actually good. It's not bad at all, really, because he's supporting the team and he's also supporting himself at a decent amount. I don't know about the decreases passion overload by 20% when it's like it's already going to be reduced by 50% also when you have the Fantastic Voyage. It's just, that's overkill, but at the same time, you're literally going to be able to do passion overload for a lot. Anyway, let's go to the next character. Alright guys, here we have Chongyun, which I really, really want, but you know, he's just not meant to be. He's a cryo, of course, everybody knows. But anyway, let's go over both of his talents, his passives, right? Sword, claymore, or pole arm wielding characters within the field created by Spirit Blade, Chongyun's Layered Frost, which is his elemental skill, I believe, right? Let me find it. Yeah, it's his elemental skill. Have their normal attack speed increased by 8%. So basically, after you do this right here, after you do the Spirit Blade right here, it basically causing a cryo explosion in a circular AoE in front of them, deals cryo damage, blah blah blah. Why did it do that? After a short delay, The cold air created by the cryo explosion will coalesce, into a chongyun frost field, within which all damage done through normal and charge attacks by sword, claymore, and polearm wielding characters will be converted to cryo damage. So not only is he supporting you by, once you get the shield on, you do cryo damage plus the damage you do as a character. Like say for example, you do his elemental skill, and you swap to Mona, right? You're gonna have cryo damage now because you have that field around you. So you're gonna have cryo damage and you're gonna have hydro damage, which causes freeze, right? So that's gonna be really good, right? He's a good support for the team, as everybody really supports each other, but some characters don't. Some characters really don't, but most characters support each other, and you can find a way for them to support each other. But anyway, that has they have their normal attack speed increased by 8%, which is pretty decent, right? And on top of that, this right here is just really good. So anyway, his talent passive number 2. When the field created by Spirit Blade Chongyun's layer Frost, which is his elemental skill, disappears, another spirit will be summoned to strike nearby enemies, dealing 100% of Chongyun's layer Frost skill damage as AoE cryo damage. Enemies hit by this blade will have their cryo res decreased by 10% for 8 seconds. Now that is really good, because not only as soon as it disappears, it's gonna summon a spirit to do 100% of Chongyun's layer frost skill damage as AoE cryo damage, and then it's going to lower their cryo res by 10% for 8 seconds, which gives you even more time to probably do even more cryo damage on them, and then like it just hits really hard, right? So that's where would that earn him on them? Where would that? That would earn him an A. That would for sure earn him an A. Alright, let's go to the next character. Here we have diluc. You guys are probably like, this is going to be a long video. Well, I wish I knew how to put timestamps. I'm probably going to search it up so I can put timestamps so you can see like what characters where. But this is 22 characters, so it's going to be like 22 timestamps. But anyway, guys, let's go over diluc, right? So diluc's 2 passives are the Relentless and Blessing of the Phoenix. His first passive is diluc's charged attack stamina cost is decreased by 50%, and its duration is increased by 3 seconds. That's really good because he is a DPS. So if you like, say for example, have gladiator gear on him, or pyro gear as well as gladiator gear, or just full set of gladiator gear, depends on what you do, right? This is gonna be good because his charge attack is gonna do tons of damage, have 50% decreased stamina cost, and then it's gonna be increased for 3 seconds. So you're gonna be able to do this way longer. He supports himself a lot, so that's like a lot because he is a DPS. He's one of the main DPSs. And his second passive is the Pyro Enhancement provided by Dawn, which is his elemental burst. I keep saying ultimate. His elemental burst lasts for 4 seconds longer. Additionally, diluc gains 20% pyro damage bonus during this duration of this effect. So basically, releases intense flame to blah blah. It basically, you throw a big old eagle, right? And the searing flames run down his blade. Diluc's normal charge attack. Oh yeah. So basically, his sword becomes a flame, I think. Yeah, if I remember right, it does become a flame. And once you throw this bird, it literally does a whole bunch of AoE pyro damage that goes across the enemies and hits them for multiple damages, right? So after that, you're going to get a 20% pyro damage bonus because your sword is on fire, basically. So that's like super good. He's, like I said, for DPS, every character has their team supports and then their self supports, but for him, his self support is for sure S rank, for sure, right? So let's go on to the next character. That girl fischl, guys. Y'all already know fischl, right? Let me close this. Right here, passive 1 and passive 2. Her first passive is when fischl hits Oz with it, which Oz, if you don't know, is the little her elemental skill where you throw the bird out and it literally does AoE electro damage, right? When fischl hits Oz with a fully charged aim shot, Oz brings down Thundering Retribution, dealing AoE electro damage equal to 152.7 of the arrow's damage. That's a lot of damage, but like she's definitely a good support for the team, especially when you're swapping off to do elemental combos and whatnot. For sure, definitely really good, especially if you want to run Hydro and fischl as well, or if you want to run like diluc and fischl for the overload damage. Depends on what you want to do, but anyway, that's like really good, right? Lightning Smite. If your active character triggers an electro related elemental reaction when Oz is on the field, the enemy shall be stricken with Thunder Retribution, dealing electro damage equal to 80% of fischl's attack. So basically, if you do anything that triggers an electro-related elemental reaction, boss will 100% do thundering retribution, dealing the 80% of fischl's attack, which is really, really good. In my opinion, where would fischl be on this list? Fischl is definitely a S, for sure. Definitely S. So let's go to the next character. Alright guys, here we have Jean. Jean, man, she was so overrated when she first came out. I don't know if people still think she's overrated or still think she's super, super good. But anyway, let's just go over her passives, right? So her passive number 1, hits by Jean's normal attacks have 50% chance to regenerate HP equal to 15% of Jean's attack for all party members. 50%. You literally have to flip a coin, and if it lands on tails, oh, I'm not healing you. Like, like that's, I mean, it is what it is, I understand, and it's only for 15%, it's not like it's 50% or something, it's not like a crazy amount, but I mean, I understand they don't want to make it too broken, but that's a really decent passive for a sword user, right? So she's a little bit of support, a team support, but she has a 50% chance of doing the team support, so it's like iffy, right? So, her passive number 2, using Dandelion Breeze will regenerate 20% of its energy. If you don't know what Dandelion Breeze is, basically, Dandelion Field launching surrounding enemies and causing animal damage. At the same time, she instantly regenerates a large amount of HP for nearby allied units and all party members. HP restored scales off of Jean's attack. Dandelion Field continuously regenerates HP for one ally and imbues them with animal attributes, deals animal attributes. Deals animal damage to enemies entering or exiting the field. So, that's really good because once, on passive number 2, why this is really good is because once you use the Dandelion Breeze, right, you're going to heal everybody, right? And you're going to have your field, you're going to be dealing animal damage and everything. And then you're also getting 20% of its energy back. Meaning you're going to have this almost ready again, right? So that's really, really good. And then as well, I mean, this one, her passive number 1 isn't all so good, but it is good because, like, while building, I mean, it's normal attack, so it's really not building any elemental particles and stuff. But this right here, her passive number 2 is actually really good. So where would this put her on the list? Where would this put her? That's an A. For sure an A. Alright, so let's go to the next one. Oh my god, guys. Here we go. Here's Kaeya. I don't even know why I'm on this character. Alright, passive 1, Cold Blood Strike. Every hit with the Frost Noelle, which is his elemental skill, regenerates HP for Kaeya equal to 15% of his attack. It's decent, but that is nah. When it comes to the team, supporting the team, that has nothing to do with supporting the team. And for a passive for himself, recovering 15% of his attack from doing his elemental skill, I mean, it's good, but it's not the best, right? And then his passive number 2, enemies frozen by Frost Noelle will drop additional elemental particles. Frost Noelle may only produce a maximum of 2 additional elemental particles per use. So he's not good. I mean, he's good, but I mean, he's free to play, but he's just, as a unit with his passives, they're just not good. They're just not good. So where would Kaeya go on this tier list, guys? He would go in a C. Yes, he would be the lowest ranking because his passive is actually not the best. Alright, let's go to the next character. That girl, keqqing. Let's go, right? Lightning Cat. Ba. Ba da ba ba. Alright, so we have our passive number 1, 30 pendants, right? Within 5 seconds of recasting Stellar Restoration, while a lightning stiletto is present, keqqing's normal and charge attacks are converted to electro damage. So if you don't know what Stellar Restoration is, that is her elemental skill. Basically, if keqqing uses Stellar Restoration again or uses, okay, so let's look at this one, right? Hurls a lightning stiletto that annihilates her enemies like the swift thunder. When the stiletto hits the target, it deals electro damage to enemies in a small AoE and places a stiletto mark on the spot hit. If you hold to adjust the direction in which the stiletto shall be thrown, stilettos it's making my tongue stutter. Thrown by the hold attack mode can be suspended in mid-air, allowing keqqing to jump to them when using Stellar Restoration a second time. Lightning Stiletto, if keqqing uses Stellar Restoration again or uses a charge attack while its duration lasts, it will clear the stiletto's mark and produce different effects. If she uses Stellar Restoration again, she will blink to the location of the mark. Unleash one slashing attack that deals AoE electro damage when blinking to the stiletto thrown, blah blah blah. If keqqing uses charged attack, she will ignite a series of thunder cuts at the mark's location, dealing AoE electro damage, right? So, like I said, within 5 seconds of casting this, while a lightning stiletto is present, keqqing's normal and charged attacks are converted to electro damage. So she's all about electro damage. She supports herself. She's throwing out tons of electro damage. Not only is she throwing out the electro damage from the stellar restoration, she's also getting the buff to herself that she's giving herself for normal and charged attacks to produce more electro damage, right? And then that's really good. So passive 2, when casting Star Wars Sword, which is her elemental burst, keqqing's crit rate is increased by 15% and her energy recharge is increased by 15%. And this lasts for 8 seconds. So you literally have 8 seconds to damn near get your ult right back again, and also it increases your crit rate, so you're gonna be hitting for tons and tons of damage, right? That's why Pyro Registry stands no chance against her. Oh my god. So that's for sure. Where would that put her on the list? Where would keqqing be on the list? Keqqing would be at a S. She was 100% be at S. Alright, let's go to the next character. Alright, here we have it. We have Klee, which just came out, I think like 2 days ago maybe, something like that, right? So we have Klee right here. Let's look at her passives. Her passive number 1, when Jumpty Dumpty, which is her elemental skill, and normal when Jumpty Dumpty and normal attacks deal damage, Klee has a 50% chance to obtain Explosive Spark. The Explosive Spark is consumed by the next charge attack, which costs no stamina and deals 50% increased damage, right? So that's really good because it summons a little flower to do damage. It summons a little flower to do damage for you, and you're also doing damage for yourself, and you're also throwing out a Jumpty Dumpty, which is throwing out tons of pyro damage on the field. Especially, it's all AoE, so it's like really insane, right? So, and then passive number 2, when Klee's charged attacks result in a crit, all party members gain 2 elemental energy. So, if you charge her attack, wow! If you charge her attack, it'll literally give, if you crit, it'll give you 2 elemental energy. That is not bad. That's not bad at all. So where would she go on the list, right? 100% A. That she's not bad, but she's also not the best. She supports herself pretty good, just like Chongyun and bennet and whatnot. Well, bennet supports team a little bit, but she supports pretty good herself mainly. But anyway, let's go to the next character. The god herself, guys. The one who made literally over probably like 2 million views on YouTube from climbing a mountain. Lisa, right? So let's just go to passive number 1. Hits by charge attacks apply Violet's Art conductive status to enemies. If you don't know what Violet Art is, that is her elemental skill. And if you press it, it releases a homing lightning orb. On hit, it deals electro damage and applies a stack of the conductive status. You can stack this up to 3 times. So if you press this, and if you press this, you can apply the conductive status, right, to enemies in a small AoE. If you hold, after extended casting time, calls down lightning from the heavens, dealing massive electro damage to all nearby enemies AoE. Deals great amount of extra damage to enemies based on the number of conductive stacks applied to them, and clears their conductive stacks, right? So basically, after you after you press this for the Violet Arc and you put these stacks on, these conductive statuses on them, which has a max of 3 stacks, so you can put 3 on them, right? If you hold, this will do extra damage on all of the conductive stacks that are on them. Depending on how many you have on them, this will do extra damage, right? And then take all their conductive stacks away, right? So right here it says hits by charge attacks apply Violet's Arc conductive status to enemies. So you can charge, right? Or you can press to put the stacks on them, right? So for sure that's really good, really good, right? I'm pretty sure if you hold charge attacks are AoE, so it's putting it on all enemies, right? And then on her passive number 2, this is kind of where it's lopsided a little bit in my opinion. Enemies hit by lightning rolls have their defense decreased by 50% for 10 seconds. That's, I mean, like, you ult, right? Everything's decreased, but like when you have this right here, the charge attacks, how do I explain this, right? Actually, it's not really anything bad. I mean, enemies hit by lightning rolls. After you're hit with this, right, it summons the lightning rolls to unleash powerful lightning bolts, launching surrounding enemies and dealing electro damage. The lightning rolls will continuously emit lightning to knock back enemies and deal electro damage so long as it persists, right? So after you say, for example, you ult, right? Enemies hit by this will have their defense lowered by 50% for 10 seconds, and then you put some conductive status on them, right? Like 1 or 2 or 3, right? And then after that, you hold, and then, or you could charge an attack. Or, well, you really don't need to charge an attack if you have max conductive status. So, once you have max conductive status and you hold the Violet Arc, you're going to do tons of damage because their defense is lowered as well. So, for herself, she supports herself really, really good in a way where it's really smooth. And literally, she can do a lot, right? So, I put her passive in S tier, for sure, right? Alright, so let's go to the next character. Alright, guys, here we have Mona. So, let's look at Mona's passives, right? Passive number 1, come and get me, Hag. I don't know. Alright, after she used Illusory Torrent for 2 seconds, if there are any nearby enemies, Mona will automatically create a Phantom. A Phantom created in this manner lasts for 2 seconds, and its explosion damage is equal to 50% of Mirror Reflection of Doom. Mirror Reflection of Doom is her elemental skill where she throws this out. It's only like 50% of the damage. I mean, it's like you don't have to press it. If there's an enemy nearby, it automatically just spawns one, and then they focus that because it's like a taunt, and then it probably can save you and then do 50% of damage by exploding. But that's really good, actually. It's not bad, but yeah, it's good. It's good. It shouldn't be broken, so it's at a point to where it's actually perfectly balanced, right? And then we have her passive number 2, increases bonus hydro damage bonus by a degree equivalent to 20% of her energy recharge rate. So, the more energy recharge you have, the more hydro damage you're going to do for the 20%, right? So, that's really cool. Where would that put her in here? She would be at A because she supports herself mainly. No team support really besides, like I said, besides the elemental combos. But what we're going over is the passives and how they support the character and the team, basically, right? So, it's all about the passives, not, you know what I'm saying, right? Alright, so let's go to the next character. Alright, here we have Ningguang. Ningguang, guys. Alright, so the passive number 1. When Ningguang's is in possession of Star Jades. If you don't know what Star Jades is, it is right. I think this is Star Jades right here. It should be. Yeah, right here. Ningguang creates a Jade screen out of gold, obsidian, and great opulence, dealing AoE geo damage, blocks the enemy projectiles. Endurance scales based on Ningguang's max HP. The more HP she has, the more endurance it has. And Jade screen is considered a geo construct. It cannot be climbed, basically, and yeah. It can only be used to block certain attacks as well, right? So, basically on passive number 1, when Ningguang is in possession of Star Jades, her charge attack does not consume stamina. So, when she does this, basically, I'm pretty sure that's Star Jades, right? Yeah, that's Star Jade, basically, right? I think so. So, basically, once she does this, her charge attacks take no stamina. So, you could spam charge attacks. So, that's really, really, really good, right? And also, passive number 2, a character that passes through the Jade screen. Actually, no. So, the Star Jades gathering is right here. This is the Star Jades, I guess. So, when she ults, her charge attacks, when she does elemental burst, her charge attacks does not consume stamina. So, basically, when she elemental burst. Okay. So, passive number 2, a character that passes through the Jade screen will gain 12% geo damage bonus for 10 seconds. So, basically, you pass through her wall of geo. Literally, you pass through it. Boom. You have geo damage combined with whatever other element you want to combine it with. So, that's really cool. She supports the team, and she supports herself really good for that. So, where would I put her? I would put her in A with everybody else, basically. Almost everybody's A. I'm sorry, Kaeya. Kaeya fell off. Anyway, let's go to the next character. Alright, we are on Noelle. Noelle, right? So we have passive number 1. When Noelle is in the party but not on the field, this ability triggers automatically when your active character's HP falls below 30%, creates a shield for your active character that lasts for 20 seconds, and absorbs damage equal to 400% of Noelle's defense. This effect can only occur once every 60 seconds. Imagine if you have like really, really thick defense armor on her with almost all defense substats and defense stats. Jesus Christ. You'd be a monster. Like, you'd have all that defense, then have 400% of that when your health falls below 30%. So this is a really good support. But at the same time, it's not cool because it's like, if she's on the field, will this happen to her? Is the question. Well, it's a party, but not on the field, this ability. So yeah, I don't think this happens with her. So that kind of sucks. But Anyway, passive talent number 2, every 4 normal or charge attack hits will decrease the cooldown of the breastplate by 1 second. So the more combos you do that are 4 hit, like with Razor and whatnot, he has the slowest combos, Jesus Christ, but he hits like a truck, right? So you do whole combos, you decrease the cooldown of breastplate. If you don't know what breastplate is, this is basically a shield that she creates around herself, right? The shield has the following properties: when those normal and charge attack hits a target, they will have a certain chance to regenerate HP for all characters, possess 250% absorption efficiency against shield damage. So yeah, and the healing will be based on Noelle's defense, basically, right? All right, so where would that put her in the tier list? Where would Noelle go in the tier list? I say an A because she supports the team actually really good. I mean, even though she has to be on the field, but she has to be on the team, but not in the field. That sucks that she's not on the field, because, like, say for example, she's somebody's main DPS somehow, or you know, whatnot. But it is what it is. I guess that's really good, because you could put her in the on the back or something, give her max defense from the armor and the stats and the substats, and then, like, boom, when you're below 30% health, you have that strong ass shield, right? So anyway, let's go on to the next character. Here we have Qiqi, or Qiqi, wherever y'all want to call her. I'm gonna call her Qiqi, right? So Qiqi is a healer, so for sure she's gonna do really good, right? So we have the passive talent number 1, right? When a character under the effect of Adeptus Art Herald of Frost triggers an elemental reaction, their incoming healing bonus is increased by 20% for 8 seconds, right? So basically what this is right here, if you don't know what her elemental skill is, which is the Herald of the Frost, when Qiqi hits a target with her normal or charge attack, she regenerates HP for your characters in the party, super good, and all nearby allied characters. Healing scales, and that means she heals people in co-op as well, guys. That's insane. Healing scales based on Qiqi's attack. The more attack she has, the more healing she does. Regenerates a certain amount of HP at regular intervals for your active character, right? Wow. And follows the character. This follows the character around, dealing cryo damage to enemies in its path. And this supports your character, does damage, like gives you HP. Wow, that's insane, right? So when your character is under the effects of this, basically when a character under the effects of the Adeptus Art triggers an elemental reaction, aka electro charged or overload, something like that, their incoming healer bonus will increase by 20%. So the more you do on elemental reactions, the more health you will gain back, right? So passive number 2, when Qiqi hits her enemies with normal and charge attack, she has a 50% chance to apply a fortune preserving talisman to them for 6 seconds. This effect can only happen every 30 seconds. So if you don't know what this fortune preserving talisman is, 50% chance to do this, right? This is literally her elemental burst. When enemies affected by this talisman take damage, the character that dealt the damage regenerates HP. So, and this does cryo damage as well. So all about healing. Literally, this character's all about healing, and she's one of the best healers. Where would that put her? No, she's actually the best healer. That would put her at SS, because how she supports the team, how she supports herself, and it's overall broken passives, right? So let's go to the next character. Jesus Christ, Razor, man. I mean, Razor's super good, guys. He has a stand, guys. You know, you can't pass that up. You really can't, right? But his passives, right? Passive number 1, Awakening. Decreases the Claw and Thunder's cooldown by 18%. If you don't know what his Claw and cooldown is, that is his elemental skill, where he does a slash. If you hit it, it'll do a little damage. If you hold it, it'll gather electro energy to release an AoE, causing massive electro damage, right? And then clears all of Razor's electro sigils. Each electro sigil cleared in this manner will be converted to energy and then go towards his elemental burst, which is where this unit falters, right? Decreases Claw and Thunder's cooldown by 18%. Using Lightning Fang resets the cooldown. So once you do your elemental burst, so this supports his elemental burst, and getting his elemental burst, the more you hold it, the more elemental the more energy you'll get, the more stuff you'll get for your elemental burst to do your elemental burst. And then once you use your elemental burst, which is your Lightning Fang, this resets the cooldown of your Claw and Thunder once again for you to reset, rinse, and repeat, right? And in his Lightning Fang, his attack speed is increased, and electro res, electro damage, causes Razor to be immune to damage inflicted by electro charge status, disables Razor's charged attacks, which sucks because charge attacks during his transformation will be really cool, right? But this is where he faltered. When let's talk about passive number 2. When Razor's energy is below 50%, increases energy recharge by 30%. You're probably like, damn, that's really, really good. He is super, super duper good. His passives are so good for himself, as if he was literally playing by himself. He is a hog unit. He will hog your team because in order to DPS and do a lot of damage, and if you want to, like, you know, get Lightning Fang and all that, you would literally have to have him on the field constantly in order to build up his elemental burst because of how he works, literally, right? So where would this put him on the list, right? He would go A because he literally supports himself really, really good. He supports himself really, really good. But it's just the fact that he will hog the team, that's all. So he's an A. Alright, let's go to the next character. Alright, we have Sucrose, which I recently just got. She's actually pretty cool. She's an animal user, guys. Basically, her passive number 1, Catalyst Conversion. When Sucrose triggers a swirl effect, all characters in the party matching the element, excluding Sucrose, have their elemental mastery increased by 50. So, where this sucks is it excludes Sucrose. Like, it excludes the character that's doing it. And I'm just like, what? Like, I don't understand. But that's cool, I guess. But to inflict swirl, basically, you'd have to, where is it? You have to, right here. I think this does swirl right here. Elemental skill, which is a stable. We're gonna call it a stable. We're not pronouncing all that. Animal hypostasis. Anyway, once you do her elemental skill, it'll cause swirl. The swirl will give everybody the 50 increased elemental mastery for 8 seconds besides her. Passive number 2. When a stable animal hypostasis creation 6308 or forbidden creation, which is her elemental burst, hits an enemy, increases all party members excluding Sucrose once again elemental mastery based on 20% of Sucrose's elemental mastery for 8 seconds. So the more elemental mastery you have for Sucrose, the more she is going to increase. So this is where this comes in. I've actually seen somebody that had 700 elemental mastery for their Sucrose, and when they did the elemental skill right on the Pyro Edger theme, when they did the elemental skill on the Pyro Edger theme, this literally gave 20% of 700 to all of the allies on the team, and then it made the allies on the team pretty strong, have strong elemental mastery for 8 seconds in order to nuke or whatever they had to do to get the job done, right? So that's a really, really good support. Like, that's decent support. It's not bad, but it's decent, right? So where would she go? Since you would have to build her with element, basically without elements, her passive would be really, it wouldn't be the best. But if you, not elements, with gear, if you don't build her with a certain type of gear, elemental mastery gear that is, then she's not gonna be the best. But if you build her with elemental mastery, with elemental mastery gear, she will be really good because she'd support the team really good. So she'd be an A with that. But other than that, just her passive, she's a B. She's in there with Amber. All right. Anyway, let's go to the next character. Here we have the Traveler, which is possibly the worst, if I do say so myself, the worst passives in the game. Here we go. Passive number 1. The last hit of normal attack combo unleashes a wind blade, dealing 60% of attack as animal damage to all opponents in its path. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I guess. And then number 2, Palm Vortex kills regenerate 2% HP for 5 seconds. This effect can only occur once every 5 seconds. So, Palm Vortex is the elemental skill. Once you do this, this will occur only every 5 seconds, and this literally regenerates 2% of HP for 5 seconds. That's not bad, but at the same time, guys, this is not good, like, at all. I mean, but it's the character you start off with, so I understand why it's so bad. But this is 100% its T tier. 100%. Alright, we're almost done. Let's go over these last characters. Alright, here we have Venti, which was the last banner just now. Alright, let's go over the passives of Venti. Passive number 1, holding Skyward Sonic creates an up current that lasts for 20 seconds. If you don't know, this actually is really helpful because on the map, for all those Geoculus that you have to get, like, you don't know how to get, they're in the air, you literally just hold Venti's passive. I mean, hold Venti's elemental skill, and it'll make the passive the Skyward Sonnet, which makes a current for you to fly up and go get the Geoculus. So that's really cool passive, and also, like, really cool for, like, going in the air, then flying, and then doing your splash damage when you fall down, right? So now we have passive number 2, Regenerates 15 energy for Venti after the effects of Wind Grand Ode, which is the elemental burst. When it ends, if an elemental absorption occurs, this also restores 15 energy to all the characters of that corresponding element. So this is where this comes kind of crazy, because when you get Wind's Grand Ode, it literally is a spear that sucks everything into it and does swirl damage. But the crazy thing about it is you could combine it with Hydro, Pyro, Cryo, or Electro, and it will create elemental absorption. And once that is created, not only are you gonna be receiving 15 energy for Venti, right, for his to get his elemental burst almost once again to the 15 energy, you're also going to be getting the 15 energy to the characters, whatever character you literally have on your team. Like say for example, you use diluc, right, and when you do the elemental burst of Venti and you attack with a pyro attack on diluc, you're doing pyro damage. Say for example your whole team's pyro and then you just have Venti, right? Boom, all your pyro characters get 15 energy just for that, just for literally doing elemental absorption, and then you're dealing so much damage, right? So that's really good. Where would this put Venti in here? Venti would easily go to an S rank, 100%, easily. Really good character, right? So let's go on to Xingling. Alright, here we have Xingling. Let's talk about her passive now. We have passive 1. Increases the flame range of Guoba by 20%. I mean, yeah, she's a free-to-play character, so I understand her passives aren't going to be the best. But that, for overall how everybody else's passive work compared to Qiqi's passive, compared to Beidou's passives, this isn't really the best. Increase the flame range by Guoba. Yeah, Guoba's good, but he can burn you too. So I don't understand. But anyway, that's that right there. Passive talent 2. And by the way, Guoba is the elemental skill. Passive talent 2, beware, it's super hot. When Guoba effect ends, Guoba not only explodes and makes a lot of fire, right? He leaves a pepper that increases attack by 10% for 10 seconds. It's not bad, because that's somewhat of a team support. So I would put her at an easy... I'll put her at a B, right? We'll put her at a B. Alright, so let's go over the last character. Alright, here we have Xingqui, right? Xingqui is a Hydro type, guys, if you don't know. Let's go over his passives. Passive 1. When a rain sword is shattered or when its duration expires, it regenerates the current HP based on 8% of Xingqui's max HP. Basically almost 10%, right? So rain sword is this right here. Let me find it. Rain sword. Yeah, I think this is his rain sword, or is it this? Let me just make sure, right? Nah, it's this one. So his elemental skill is Rain Sword. Basically, when a character takes damage, the Rain Sword will shatter, reducing the amount of damage taken. Increase the character's resistance to interruption. 20% of Xingqui's Hydro damage bonus will be converted to additional damage reduction for the Rain Sword. The maximum amount of additional damage reduction that can be gained this way is 24%. The initial maximum number of Rain Sword is 3. And using this ability applies the wet status onto the character, which kind of sucks. If you get hit by Electro, you're kind of electro charged. But anyway, that's pretty cool, right? So when a rain sword is shattered, when you have one of your 3 or one of your 1 rain swords shattered or it expires, it regenerates your HP based on 8% of Xingqui's max HP. The more HP you have on Xingqui, the more you will heal for on this 8%, depending on how much HP you have, right? So I mean, that's not really good. It's not really good at all, actually. But I mean, due to the rain sword doing what it does, it's pretty decent, actually. So his passive number 2 is Xingqui gains 20% Hydro damage bonus. If it would have been like the team gains 20% Hydro or Hydro characters gain 20% Hydro damage bonus, that would have been really good, because it would have applied to Mona, and Mona would have been broken. So for sure, this could have been better, way better, but it is what it is, guys, and that's that. So Xingqui, where was Xingqui go? You would easily go to a B. So this is the tier list. Guys, go ahead and comment down below. I know you guys have opinions just like me. It's different for everybody, but what we're talking about today is we're talking about characters that support teams, support themselves, and how good they support themselves and how good they support teams. And in that case, Qiqi is literally on top. I'm not gonna lie, Qiqi's broken. Like, as a support for herself and for the team, she's literally broken. Beidou's damage is insane. Diluc's damage is insane. Fischl can do some insane damage. All these characters, this is literally just, this is my opinion. I'm telling you, the Traveler and damn kaeya have been shamed. I'm so sad. I am so sad for them. But anyway, guys, that's really it. This is the tier list right here. If you want me to upload this on Twitter or something, if you want me to send this to you or something, I don't know. Just let me know down in the comment section down below. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, if this video helped you, if this video gave you some insight, go ahead and smash the like button down below. I know this video was really long, but I'm going to try to crop this. Right now, I know this video is long, but I'm going to try to crop this in, as best as I can and put timestamps in it if I can. If I can't, I am sorry. I'm so sorry that you have to skip forward to find what characters have the best paths and what characters don't. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video today. Join the subscribers on the grind to 700 subscribers. We are halfway there, basically. Let's go, guys. Come on, let's keep going. Let's keep growing as a family. I love you guys. But anyway, guys, join the subscribers by hitting the subscribe button down below. Whisker Gang will welcome you. You already know. We love all of you. But anyway, without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.